Welcome to the live streaming worship service of the Universalist Unitarian Church of Riverside. Today is May 10th, 2020. Happy Mother's Day. We invite you to worship with us with an open mind and an open heart. For our call to worship, please read with me our mission statement. Our mission is to foster a diverse
religious community
that celebrates life, affirms the individual, encourages spiritual growth and open thought, and works to advance social justice and environmental sustainability. Today is Mother's Day. We are reflecting on how beautiful, complex, difficult, and sometimes sorrowful it can be to mother and be mothered.
We have a couple of announcements. First, though, we would like to have you keep in mind. Chat time is now being held online. This is our fourth Sunday, actually, on Sundays at 11:30 a.m. Please email Lee at president@uuchurchofriverside.org for the Zoom meeting number and password, which will be sent out after the close of this service. Also, Camp Benneville Pines registration for summer and fall adult and family camps is open. Go to the camp's website, www.uucamp.org, and click on the Register for Camp button. There has been a lot of coronavirus COVID-19 hype and misinformation circulating. You can get the most accurate and up-to-date information specific to Riverside County and San Bernardino County at these websites. The first website is the Riverside University Health System, Public Health, www.rivcoph.org/coronavirus. And for San Bernardino County Public Health, sbccounty.gov/DPH/coronavirus. There is a word of caution that we should keep in mind. Several churches have had members receive scam donation emails pretending to be from their church or their pastor. If you receive an email asking for a donation, please verify that it did come from our church. Do not click on any link in the email and do not reply to the email. Send a separate email or give a call to our church office, our church administrator email at admin@uuchurchofriverside.org, the church office phone where you may leave a message, or if you call during office hours, 951-686-6515.
Let us acknowledge that we walk upon the traditional territories of the Moronga, the original people of this land, who continue to cry out for justice and self-determination. In honor of the Moronga people, we, the Universalist Unitarian Church of Riverside, light this sacred flame as the stewards of this sacred and holy place. We are blessed with a space and opportunity to strive to live out our common principles, to bring justice, equity, and compassion into our daily lives, to resist all that threatens the earth and her people, and to live out our dream of a world community of peace, liberty, and justice for all. Let these thoughts carry us forth as we journey in worship together. The chalice is the sacred symbol of our faith. We light it to remind us of the light of reason, the warmth of community, and the flame of hope. Our chalice lighting is, even in the most broken places, there is room for love, by Becky Brooks, and we've adapted it.
Mother's Day is complicated. Joyful for many, yes, but complicated. It's right there on the calendar, even if your mother has died, even if you've been told yet again that you're still not pregnant, or if you've never been more scared than you are right now because you are pregnant. It's Mother's Day. Even if your own mother's priorities included everything but you, there's going to be a Mother's Day Google Doodle with flowers and pink stuff. Even if you have scars, ones you can see or ones you can't, It's Mother's Day. That cake mix commercial is going to roll out 4 times an hour, even when you can't stop shaking and crying because you can't believe you slapped your little boy. It's Mother's Day, and we all have to live with that in those silent, breathless moments, because even when the baby dies, it's Mother's Day. And so let's go to church. Let's be a church where we can acknowledge how difficult it is to have this day right alongside how joyful this day can be. Let's be a church where we don't pretend there aren't inky depths of space between us, even when we sing. Let's be a church that fills the space between our differences with love. Because even in the most broken places, there is room for love. We can be that church. We light this chalice and promise to be that church, the one that shares love.
Joys and concerns. Sharing joys and concerns is an important part of belonging to this beloved community. Our Caring Network will collect them during each week. Then on each Sunday, we will read what has been received since the previous Sunday. Please email or text your joys and concerns to Dinah Rowe, our Caring Network coordinator. Her email is ramblinrose22@yahoo.com. That's RAMBLINROES22@yahoo.com. Her cell phone number is 909-645-2885. Dinah's phone can receive texts, but it's been having trouble receiving phone calls. If you wish to talk with Dinah, please call Bill Rowe's cell phone, 909-835-5467. One serious concern is that our church has had a significant loss of income since the governor issued the stay-at-home order. We have canceled having paid speakers and canceled the schedule of our pianist. We've also made other reductions, including cutting services to our buildings. Even with these reductions, our expenses are still greater than our income. If you are willing to be a volunteer speaker or musician, please email worship@uuchurchofriverside.org. We have concerns from John Longfield, concerned that it's going to be a long, hot, miserable summer. And concern for the church and when it will reopen. People need it. Kate Lewicki's concern is for the family of a brother-in-law who recently died from the virus. And Robert Braun is concerned about his friend Steve and hopes that he is well. A concern, when shared, is divided. We place a stone in our water chalice for all the concern we have. Know that we support each other. Joys. Glenn Grandfield and others are joyful that we have not contracted the virus. Finn Beach is happy he is well, aren't we all? Tom Blackmore is happy that his daughter has lifted the quarantine that he has been under and he can now visit his family and see his grandchildren. Joys from John Longfield. May 6th was National Nurses Day, and he said he was thankful for all they do. John's also happy that his daughter's furloughed fiancé had been called back to work. Although he can work from home, he has to be ready at 6 a.m. And he has joy that his wife hasn't killed him in the 2 months that they've been housebound together. And he also has joy that they are both retired and don't have to worry about losing a job or finding another. John Fisher's joy is that he's able to provide a meal for a homeless family with 2 children. And Kate Lookie is joyful that her daughter and son-in-law have been able to do her shopping for her. And finally, Bill and Dinah are thankful that they are retired and able to stay home. The joy, when it is shared, is multiplied. We place a stone in our water chalice for all the joy we have. Know that we celebrate together. Sharing our stewardship is how we can give of ourselves. We take 3 types of collections every week. The first 2 are for our Riverside community. We collect dry good food items for the food insecure, such as pasta, granola bars, crackers, and powdered milk. We also collect hygiene items for anyone who needs them, such as toothbrushes, travel-size soaps, shampoos, shaving kits, and socks. Our Social Justice Committee distributes these in front of our church every Thursday morning. Please email the church office to make an appointment to bring the food and hygiene items. Great Lakes script cards and Stater Brother cards can also be donated to help purchase food and hygiene items. You can get these through our church office. Once again, the church office email is admin@uuchurchofriverside.org. Our third collection is Sharing Our Treasure. This offering is how we fund all that we provide to our congregation and our neighbors. It is also how we care for our beloved and aging church. We have several ways that you can accept your donation. You may mail your donation to the church office, please, no cash. Our church office address is Universalist Unitarian Church of Riverside, 3657 Lemon Street, Riverside, California, 92501. You can also make a digital donation. You may visit our website for a PayPal link at uuchurchofriverside.org/community/donate. If you have a smartphone, you may use the QR code displayed now to go to PayPal. We have a wonderful way to financially support our church at no cost to us. Great Lakes script cards for places like Amazon, Smart and Final, Vons, Arco, Chevron, Kohl's, Olive Garden, Starbucks, Wendy's, and so many other places are available from Dine Row. If you buy a script card for, say, $10 at Starbucks, you get to buy $10 of Grande, non-fat, decaf, quad shot, no whip, 2 extra pumps, white chocolate mochas, all to go. And our church receives a percentage of the script card price. We also have Stater Brother cards for your grocery shopping that also earns our church a percentage. Go shopping at Stater Brothers and you might even find a package of TP rolls. Please contact Dinah or the church office to purchase script cards and Stater Brother cards. Once more, Dinah's email is ramblinrose22@yahoo.com, and the church office email is admin@uuchurchofriverside.org. You can also help us when making purchases through the Amazon Smile program. Go to smile.amazon.com, be sure to have the smile dot, and choose Universalist Unitarian Church as your charity. We receive 0.5% of your qualifying purchases. Additionally, by using Amazon gift cards purchased through our script cards program, we receive both the script card percentage and the Amazon Smile percentage. Please donate as the Spirit moves you by whatever method works best for you. Thank you for your generosity, and to those who give of their time and their talent, thank you for your generous care and attention. Our meditation is the affirmation, Circle of Care, an inclusive reading for Mother's Day by Lisa Bovey-Kemper. We've adapted this one as well.
In religious community, we share our joys and our triumphs, our sorrows and our broken places. In this circle of care, we make space for the complexity of life, the myriad experiences that bless and break our hearts. The truth of human experience dictates that on any given day, we each come to the table with hearts in different places. It is especially so on this day, invented to honor women who nurture.
In this circle of care, we honor the truth that mothering is not and never will be quantified in one single descriptor. Mothering can be elusive or infuriating, fulfilling or confusing, commonplace or triumphant. It exists in the everyday experiences of each person. There is no human being that is not connected to or disconnected from a mother.
And so we honor the complexity of experience writ large in flowered platitudes, but here in this space laid bare, honoring the truth in each of our hearts. There is room for all in this circle. If you have carried a child or children, whether or not they came to be born, we see you.
If you have fervently wished to do so, and circumstances of fate made it impossible, we see you.
If you love children we cannot see, whether because of death or estrangement or quarantine, we see you. If you never wanted to be a mother, we see you.
If you are happy to mother other people's children as an educator, an auntie, or a foster parent, we see you.
If your mother hurt you, physically or emotionally, we see you. If you had no mother at all, we see you.
If your mother is or was your best friend, we see you.
If your gender says you are not a mother, and yet you take on the role of nurturer, we see you. If you wonder whether your mothering has been enough, we see you.
And if yours is a different truth altogether, we honor your unspoken story.
There is room for all in this circle. May it be so today and always.
The homily I'm going to give today was written by Joanne Greene, and she gave me permission to use this. She said, "My favorite book when I was a child was The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, a classic children's book written by C.S. Lewis, a friend and peer of the much more critically acclaimed J.R.R. Tolkien, both of whom were part of the same writing circle. It came to mind this week because in addition to Mother's Day, we also celebrate VE Day, the day that the Allied forces liberated Europe from Nazi occupation and turned the focus of the war toward the Pacific. You may ask what VE Day has to do with Mother's Day, other than their proximity on the calendar, and the answer is more than you might think. Not long after the liberation of Europe, a long-awaited time of reunification began, and it is this event which brings to mind my childhood favorite. The book begins with the Pevensey children leaving London to live and stay with a family friend out in the countryside, which was perceived to be much safer than remaining in London. Children were loaded into trains and onto buses and sent away from their families to stay in smaller villages outside of London, hoping that they would be safe away from the city. This was a scenario that was a part of every large city which was a target of German bombers. It was also a scene in the Jewish ghettos, where mothers and fathers would buy forged papers for their children and send them away to live with Christian families with the hope that they would survive the war and eventually return home. The book ends with the war ending and the children returning back to London. It seems like a sad and somewhat depressing thought for Mother's Day, but this year it seems especially profound. All across the United States and Europe, mothers who are also doctors and nurses are sending their children to live with relatives or choosing to live apart from them in order to keep them safe. They are choosing to put their needs of their children ahead of their own desire to come home to them every night and see them every day. They, like the mothers who put their children on trains and buses during World War II, are hoping to keep them safe in an unsafe world. I make a point of highlighting this incredibly courageous act because mothers are rarely the heroes of stories. They are supporting characters, villains or victims, but rarely heroes. Literature provides plenty of examples of wicked stepmothers, weak mothers, jealous mothers, and wives. Hera, the Greek goddess, comes to mind. And absent mothers, but only occasionally strong and courageous mothers, and they are rarely the main character of the story. More often than not, they are the lead-in to a more heroic character, or if they are the main heroine of the story, it is despite the fact that they are a mother, as if being a mother is an obstacle that they must overcome to be the hero of the story, instead of the element that epitomizes their status as a hero. Yet if we look at history, we find that mothers often are the heroes of the story. During World War II, it took incredible bravery for mothers to put their children onto trains and buses, sometimes in the care of complete strangers, hoping that their children would have a better chance at survival away from home. Right now, in the midst of the pandemic, many mothers are making similar choices, hoping for similar outcome. Also facing the uncertainty of how long it will be before they see their children again in person. Today, this generation of mothers is following in the footsteps of the matriarchs that came before them, doing what is best for their children, not only in the short term, but hopefully long term as well. However, in the light of this extraordinary bravery, it is important not to overlook the ordinary bravery that being a mother requires. As I said earlier, mothers are rarely the heroes of the story, and when they are, Their motherhood is a foil for them becoming the hero. Pop culture often juxtaposes motherhood and success for both comedic and tragic effect. The good mother is the one who sacrifices career and self for motherhood, choosing family and children over self-actualization. The bad mother is the mother who chooses self-actualization or career over children and family. But this is hardly a fair representation. This caricature of motherhood fails to capture how difficult it is to balance the need for a strong sense of self in order to have a sense of identity beyond the title, job description of mother. It also fails to encompass the wide variety of ways in which motherhood is expressed both within and between different cultures, and what social norms require of women in order to be judged as a good mom. And those standards are exacting, often unrealistic, and leave many mothers feeling like they aren't good enough. Yet, it is the quiet bravery that says, "I will try again tomorrow," that personifies motherhood. Every mother has had the child saying something unkind when they are unhappy. Every mother has had to make the choice between setting a boundary and keeping it, or taking the easy way out. Every mother has had to endure the pain of a child making a mistake or failing, breaking up with their first boyfriend or girlfriend, not getting into the college they had their heart set on attending, or not being chosen for the varsity team or the honor band, despite hours and hours of practice. Motherhood requires allowing children, at all ages, to have agency over their choices and responsibility for the outcomes of those choices. Motherhood requires celebrating the growing independence of their child as milestones are reached, while simultaneously grieving the endings those milestones represent. To paraphrase a well-known quote, motherhood is not for sissies. Previously, Mother's Day would typically be celebrated with a special meal out at a favorite restaurant, a special church service where mothers would be recognized and in some congregations asked to stand while they would be given flowers and gifts made in religious education classes, or honored with a special brunch cooked and served by the church men's group. This is not a typical year. And as we are looking forward to the time when we can eventually be together again in person, let us take this time to appreciate the ordinary bravery of mothers and celebrate the courage it takes to be a mother. Amen. For our benediction, please close your eyes and reach out to each other in your thoughts. Feel the connection between us, the interconnected web joining us as a community, a church family. Our benediction is Many Names for Mother, Father, Parent by Janet H. Bowering. And once more, we've adapted this for our use.
Blessed is the person who feeds and warms, washes and comforts a child and soothes them in illness, for they shall be called caregiver.
Blessed is the person who gives shelter and food, clothing, toys, books, and tools, for they shall be called provider.
Blessed is the person who opens doors in the child's experience, who explains the puzzling and wonders at the mysterious, for they shall be called teacher.
Blessed is the person who shields a child from that which will wither or warp, who protects a child from abuse and exploitation, who guards against bullying and scorn, for they shall be called defender.
Blessed is the person who takes the time to listen, who is there for a child in the darkness, who is aware of the fears, who speaks the words of encouragement in moments of despair, for they shall be called sustainer.
Blessed is the person who guides a child in the search for beauty, who encourages them at what is daunting, who steadies them as they explore new experiences, who fires their aspirations and their dreams, for they shall be called inspirer.
Blessed are all those persons who help bring an infant along the many paths to maturity, for in them is the future well-being of humanity.
Give us the heart of a mother today. Amen.
Thank you for coming, everybody.
I'm holding everybody's hand.
Thank you, everybody. That's
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice to see everybody.
It's good to see y'all. Hopefully everybody emails Lee and gets the information for chat time. And we see y'all at 11:30.
Thanks
All
for
right.
doing
Take care.
it.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Len.
bye.